We're testing Definitive Edition here. Stronghold. Let's see if we get a Merry Christmas wishing from our squire in this version. Otherwise, it's insta uninstall.
Life in the old castle. Happy times them were. The people were all so much friendlier.
Never noticed that one of those apple throwers just pushes over a kid.
Oh, and how we feasted. And courted the fair maidens as well. There was work, of course, sharpening our minds. Making us strong. But mainly, I remember it as a happy time. Oh yes, and then there were the neighbors.
I like how they've kept the original cinematic. Lord Stronghold. Lord Dawnrim, of course. Of course.
Merry Christmas, my liege.
Ah, there it is. Thank you, thank you. Alright, modern hotkeys. Select, move attack. I'll probably, I play Age, so why wouldn't I do this? Scroll with WASD, okay, that's fine. Rotate map with Q and E, yeah, makes sense. Zoom with Z. Flatten landscape is still space. Good. Customizable at any time. Yeah, let's do modern. It's a great little neck protection here, dude. Where's your what's it called? What's that piece of the armor called? I don't remember. I mean, he could pull down the visor, but I don't think that's gonna do something, but nothing on the side. Now I have to look that up. Neck protective armor. This is modern armor. What is neck armor called? Gorget. That's it. Alright, let's do the combat campaign. Learn the game over 21 missions.
As soon as the king had marched his army into the barbarian homeland, rumors began of a plot to seize the throne. When news came of the king's capture, the country was invaded. Several nobles, including your father, sought to end the bloodshed, but on the way to meet for negotiations, their party was massacred by a band of unknown raiders. Bruised and exhausted, you have been beaten back to a forest on an overlooked peninsula, where a small group of loyal troops are hiding. Although the country is lost, Maybe from this refuge, you can at least avenge your father's death.
I say we act now and strike while the iron is hot.
No, 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 no. The few men we have would be cut down like lambs to the slaughter. We need time to gather our forces.
Nonsense! I shall take 6 of my finest men into enemy territory by the cover of darkness and...
No, just listen. Our men are close to starvation. This is what we must do.
The debate rages on well into the night, but eventually Lord Woolsack takes you to one side.
Sir Longarm tells me he knew your father well, which is why I'm giving you your chance to prove yourself. It is time you got your first taste of command. We need you to oversee the setting up of a good-sized base camp. Start by finding a suitable clearing, then use some of the wood plentiful in this area to begin your construction.
Place a keep to site your castle, my liege.
Oh, there's like smooths. Or kind of smooths, yeah.
Site your granary, sire.
Nice.
Can't place that there, my lord.
Oh, place that there, my lord.
Can't place that there, my lord.
How many people are 3 out of 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's 3 left. I don't really have wood for much more. Pretty small map. Maybe we just left down the wood camps.
Can't place that there, my lord.
Yeah, I can. Where's the mission again? 20 meat and 40 wood. Okay.
Our food stocks are dwindling, my liege.
Wood needed.
I know, I know. I wonder if the
Can't
pathing
place
is
that
improved.
there, my lord. Can't place that there, my lord. A message from your scribe. Animal tracks have been reported in the area, sire. Can't place that there, my lord. Can't place that there, my lord.
I'm pretty sure I just did.
Can't place that there, my lord. Granary stocks are very low, sire. Can't place that there, my lord.
Yeah, I think in the old version, that hunter that just walked into my newly constructed hut, he would have been stuck and would have been deleted. So that looks like an improvement.
granary is empty, sire.
Come on, hunters, get it together. There we go.
A message from your scribe. Scouts are reporting that packs of wolves are closing in on the castle. We must get the supplies stored.
Should be good.
Our granary stocks are growing, sire.
Victory!
Victory!
Whilst the men frantically ferry precious supplies into the granary, Sir Longarm and Lord Woolsack ride into the camp.
Job well done. Not too bad for your first attempt.
No, no, no! The fool has pitched camp in the middle of the wolves' migration track.
Good.
It's,
It will give the men some well-needed practice
so far
before
pretty
we
much
make our
exactly
strike.
the same as the original.
Now I have no choice but to send
But
out
there's
a
an
scout
extra
to find
campaign,
a more
so
permanent
that's
position.
pretty much my reason for buying it. Yep, I agree. This is a great game.
Day by day, the camp becomes more overwhelmed by the wolves
Oh, okay.
and their persistent
I haven't really
howling
checked that out
robs
yet,
the men
but-
of sleep.
Yeah, if they have well-functioning
The situation is
multiplayer, that
about
would
to
be
get
cool.
out of hand when Lord Woolsack's scout returns. Soon afterwards, you are summoned into the command tent.
Sir Longarm has convinced me to give you another chance. We have found the remains of an abandoned stockade.
Wolves plague this county every winter. So, we need you to get the stockade back up to scratch quickly.
Failure is not an option this time. Just keep your
Yeah,
eyes
hopefully.
peeled.
There were a few.
To ensure
For
the
sure.
safety of your men,
I just,
you are required to
in
renovate
the last
abandoned
mission,
stockade before winter
I
is
think
upon
I
us
saw
again.
one thing that was
Use your archers
improved.
to kill off any
I remember
wolves
that in the
threatening
old
your
game,
peasants.
if you had someone walking on a path and you slapped down a building right in front of them, they would get stuck and had to respawn, and they would lose everything they were carrying and everything like that, just as if they were killed. And I did that, and he just stopped and then turned and walked on his path. So it seems like they fixed that at least.
Sight your granary, sire. Can't place that there, my lord. Can't place that there, my lord.
Wood needed.
I've been playing Frostpunk lately. So I'm trying to use the Frostpunk controls to control the camera. It's not going so well. Yeah, what was your favorite mission? I think I remember most of them. I probably played this campaign 7, 8 times maybe? Yeah, it looks like that's the way to do it here. I can't even like pan Age of Empires style with the. Didn't you? I think you used to be able to do that. Put the mouse at the edge of the screen. I remember this thing. What? I'm panning away from my menu? I guess that kind of makes sense. Okay, so this is actually the edge of the map. Okay, that's strange. But I guess it kind of makes sense. That's weird. I mean, I don't need this panel here, but...
No change in the treasury, lord.
Oh well. Yeah, I was pretty sure. Yeah, I gotta get some food though.
Our
yeah,
food stocks are dwindling,
finishing
my
it here.
liege.
Seem to remember. Do I need to man the walls or something? No, I can't make army, right? I think it's wolves. I think this is just the second mission, so I think it's just wolves so far. Being like the
Can't place that there, my lord.
environmental threat. Let's have these guys hang out outside the walls. Have some idols still. Yeah, the wolves in this game are a little more vicious than in Age. Oh, I clicked. Okay. Yeah, it's 13, I think, with the winter sale. It was like down 10%. It wasn't much. This is a bit weird, but I wonder if this is my mouse. I need a gate here. Gonna wreck my acre.
Not enough wood, my lord.
Didn't think about this.
Wood needed.
Granary stocks are very low, sire.
Yeah, whatever. Can live without food for a bit. Alright, sounds good. That's the club. There. Yeah, there should be multiplayer. I've seen it be promoted. There, that's the castle, right? Yeah.
Message from your scribe. The wolves are on the prowl, sire.
Yeah, the hunters can take care of it, I think. What else do I need? 35 meats. Okay. Let's get the hunters going on. Yep. There we go. Do they target them right
Wolves
away?
are attacking, my lord.
Yeah, they do. Nice. They're legit free archers. Don't melee though. Don't go melee, dude. Like, every unit is a Ratha in this game. Yeah, we're almost there. Not worth raising the pop. Oh, that's new. There's an arrow here showing the direction of the popularity. That's nice. You used to have to go in and check every
The
time.
people love you, my
See
lord.
where things were going. Pretty sure there was no derivative indicator there. Oh, okay. Maybe there's some other fun hotkeys. Cycle through and see. What did I just do now? Oh, it's okay, that makes sense.
Victory.
Yep.
Well, at least you can complete half a task.
Job well done. Now, our men are secure, and we can send a hunting party into the next county to eradicate the wolves for good.
I suppose it must be done. But We have to proceed with caution, as that county is close to the enemy's border.
Old guy is such a Karen, he makes it so that when you know what's gonna happen, you're like just waiting for him to get tortured to death. Okay.
Construct a mutton bed.
Multiplayer. Oh, yeah. No public lobbies, it sounds like. Is that my only multiplayer option? I guess I host and then invite on Steam. Make a public lobby. Is this on, do I have a Windows firewall going on or something? No. What happens if I make it public? People coming? Lords, battle it out. Sounds good. Oh, people actually coming. Nope. Okay. Close call. Let's do a 1v1. Tight fight for limited resources. Close encounter. Close encounter. Okay, yeah, I guess. Interesting. Thought it would be slightly more popular than that, given how new it is, but okay. I hope so. So just stream people, Steam people. I can't really see where. It's ready, I assume. There should be like a hover over and then a toolbox, like tooltip coming up telling me what these things are. Or you can just go straight to... Oh no, tech level, yeah. Here, people. I'm ready to go. Ready up, dude. We'll play. Alright. We got a game. Need a granary, right?
Can't place that there, my lord.
Okay, and I can see what he's doing, right? I'm just gonna spend this game watching him. How do I center on my base? I don't understand what's going on. Oh yeah, he's doing market right away. He's having some sort of
The armory is full, my lord.
I don't even know where my base is. Where am I? I don't know the map. Far left. Oh, I'm here. These controls.
Instructions! Can't get there, lord. Moving off! We are on our way. Leaving now. Can't get there, lord.
How far forward can I build a castle or a tower? I double?
We await orders.
Oh.
Archers, ready. Moving off.
How can we help?
My bow is yours. You have something in mind? Instructions. We await orders.
I'm so confused by the fact that I've turned on like
We are under attack.
save kind of. What?
Victory.
Oh. Okay.
A triumph, sire. Bards will sing of this victory for years to come.
Yay. Alright. Fair enough. It's strange multiplayer, I think. The fact that there's no fog of war makes it really strange. I guess I killed all his workers. He probably would have won though. I had no unit control, but maybe he didn't either. Okay, so there's multiplayer. Didn't seem like there's any AI, which is sad. Unless that's a... Oh, he made a game, okay. Maybe I can ask him. I don't know if I can 11 this guy. I have a feeling maybe I can. He probably plays H as well. I'm gonna stick with LOL for now. Actually, I lied. I'm not going to continue on the
stronghold.
campaign right now. Well, Ed's playing H. Maybe I'll join him. Just popped up on Steam. Otherwise, I've saved a Hera video that I was planning on making some content out of. I saw he did a Top Arabia Civ video. I intended to try to guess his picks, which I thought could be a fun game. I assume he's going like civ by civ, putting them on the tier lists. That's what he usually does. Yeah. I haven't done anything with it. I have not watched it. Usually I'll jump right into those videos because I think they're fun. But I've saved it for a stream like now, where I thought it would be fun to like guess where he puts the different civs. Because things have changed a little bit. Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna change the scene here so we can see YouTube. Let's see, window and Chrome. Here, yeah, I can look right into my life. My YouTube front page tells you everything you need to know about me. Nice. Yep, now we can both guess. AoE 2, I should be able to find it. Yeah, so the best, no, that's not it. I guess let's do videos. There it is, 1v1 Arabia Civilization tier list, so it's Arabia, 1v1. And it's January 2024, so he's ahead of RL. Okay. So I'll try to stop before he places civs.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Today we'll be doing an updated tier list.
Hang on, I'm showing the right. Is the volume good on the video?
And I know it's a little bit of a different setup, so I'm going to address that a little bit later. But we've got me in the background here, and we got me there. So it's a double
Audio sounded good. Nice. Okay.
webcam setup. But the tier list will be about the best Arabia civilizations in 2024. So January 2024. I made a video about the best Arabia civilizations a few months ago, but a lot has changed since then. New pathing, new patch, new civilizations. So the civilizations, Armenians, Georgians, and Romans are in here. So we have
First of all, this setup is undeniably strange. I don't know why he's in the background. But anyway, let's do the Armenians right away. I'll let you go first. Where would you put it, Armenians? If it's overpowered, strong, viable, subpar, and bad. On Arabia, 1v1. I guess first of all, maybe I should. Do you have the expansion pack? Have you played with the Armenians? I guess I'll open it up. I think so. For me, Armenians are probably. They are viable. The question is, are they viable or are they subpar? That's kind of a civ can be both of those things at the same time. But so I guess it's more like the bell curve. Where do I think this is? Is it on the top of the bell curve or is it slightly on the slower end? I think with all these strong civs, I would actually put them subpar. So I personally think I would put Armenians in C. Now, I don't know if he's planning on making a bell curve though. Like what is his like the median civ, is that gonna be a B kind of? But if he's using all of these, I think putting the Armenians in C makes sense for Arabia 1v1. They don't have particularly good knights. Yeah, these are not the Georgians, right? Yeah, no. These are the guys with. They have better eco upgrades, but that is a little underwhelming actually. I think when you look at the numbers of it, because it's like a percentage increase. Yeah, it has to be CRB. I agree. But the eco upgrade is like a percentage of a percentage. It doesn't like make out to be really that much. So, because you get a percentage increase on the effect of the eco upgrades. So I would go with C.
45 civs. And we're going to be rating them all from S tier to D tier. And I've also put a few words in my tier list so you guys can understand, what belongs or what each tier represents, which I think can be a little bit of extra benefit to the tier list. And I hope you
45
guys
minutes.
like
Okay,
that.
makes sense.
And the cool thing about it, let's address the elephant in the room now. We're going to be doing this entire tier list by using our hands. That's right. No mouse and keyboard for this one. Our hands would do all the talking. And the cool thing about this program, it's called Virtual Touchscreen 2, designed by Simplode, is that you can control your entire PC using just your hands, no mouse and keyboard, if you just have a webcam. And it's actually designed by a member of the community, and he even tried playing a game of Age of Empires using this program, and it works. It's not very good because you can only play it with like 10 APM. So I mean, maybe dots can get by it, but everyone else will have a lot of trouble. But for the purposes of it, working out, he was able to play an Age of Empires game using it. But I think it'll work a lot better using a tier list. So what's really cool about this program is that, as I mentioned, it's just my hands that would do all the tricks. And the guy who designed it, his name is Yamon. Maybe he'll drop a comment so you guys can get in touch with him and I can pin it on this video. But he's a Saracens player. So I'm going to start this tier list by rating the Saracens.
Oh, okay, that's a twist. I guess we have to talk about Saracens then. They are going to be high. With the new camels, they are very strong. And I think that is literally where he's going to put them. I don't know if you agree, but Saracens first, then I bet he goes back to... Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're A. Don't think they're OP, even though their camels might be OP. Yeah. I think the camels are OP. The Civ itself, though, only in the market for eco bonus. I think they're strong.
And I have good news for him. I'll go ahead and pinch the Saracens down here. I have good news for him. Saracens in the palm of my hand here are actually in a really good spot right now. They got buffed 145 HP camels, and they're going to be going from somewhere around BC from before to now in the top of A, in my opinion, or at least middle of A, because they're in a really good spot due to their 145 HP camels that are in Castle Age 145 HP, and in Imp, they jump to 170 HP without having to get the unique tech Zealotry. So that's a huge buff for the Saracens, makes them insane versus Cav Civs, and they're also a solid Civ in general with like wide open tech tree, archer play that can break through walls, CA that are very solid. Mamluks are a powerhouse late game unit. Do not sleep on Mamluks. And in general, the Saracens are a top tier Civ right now. A little hard to play sometimes, but definitely very solid and has really good matchups against Cav Civs.
Those skeleton figures.
Next up, we're going to be picking random Civs for this tier list just because, I don't know, I have my hands here. I feel like I'm picking from a box of chocolates. There's no order to this. Boom. I want Burmese next. All
right. Burmese. There's a thing where on these tier lists, the B civs always end up on B. Like the ones that start with B end up in B. And I think this is going to be another one along those lines. So I'm guessing Burmese is B. Nothing much has happened to them, and I know he likes them. And they are strong. Yeah, high C or B. I think so too. I think a lot of people would call them subpar, but I think Hera's gonna put them on B.
I'm gonna take Burmese. Burmese, where did I put Burmese? I can do so much with this. It's so cool. I'm gonna put Burmese, even though I really love them and I would like to put them in viable. I think they are subpar. They are like the perfect definition of a subpar Civ. And what's really cool about this program as well, I can close it here, so I can talk about it without me in the background, and I can reopen it, which is super cool. But the Burmese are a very nice Civ because they have a really smooth economy, and they have, in my opinion, decent options. But why they're in subpar is simply because they're lacking some crucial options that are, just happen to be important for 1v1 Arabia. They're missing the armor on the skirmishers, making all of their archer matchups a little bit harder. They're missing the second armor, that is. So yeah, your scrims are pretty weak even in Castle Age. And on top of that, you're missing hand cannoneer, you're missing arbalest, so your range is not doing you any favors. You do have really good infantry and solid cavalry though, and you do have decent siege. So in my opinion, and good monks, in my opinion, I'd even stick them in B tier. But for the purposes of a general tier list, I think they belong in like somewhere like top of C tier, most likely. All right, next civ we're gonna go ahead and talk about is the Celts. Now, the
Ooh. I'm gonna let you go first on this one. Where will you put Celts? That is a weird one. Celts are better than Burmese? Yeah, maybe they are. I think Celts has a better unique unit. I would rather have Woads than what are they called? Dart throwers. Armby. Nah, that is tough for me to swallow as well. Like eco-wise, it makes sense, I guess. 'Cause Burmese just get the upgrades for free, but Celts has like a higher ceiling because they have a bonus on top of the upgrades, which they can still get. And you get your bonus right away, so it starts in Dark Age. So that's an argument. But for anyone who likes cavalry though, like Burmese has great cavalry. Celts has ass cavalry, except for the fact that they have Paladin. Yeah, they are comparable. Do you want more attack or do you want speedier infantry? Like in early feudal, you want speedier probably to catch those villagers that escape from woodlines when you go forward with 3 men-at-arms, but for the rest of the game, you probably would rather have more attack to level buildings and stuff. So, yeah, I'm kind of like if he puts Burmese in C, Celts also should go C, especially on Arabia. Keep in mind this is Arabia, where Knight's crossbow is the thing, and you can go Knights with Burmese. You can't go either of those really with Celts. So I think we have to say C, or at least I would say C.
Celts are another civ that probably belongs somewhere in the C tier.
Yeah.
In the past, I'd put them in the D tier actually, but they got a couple good buffs that I'm going to talk about right now. Their Woad Raiders got an extra 5 HP and +1 attack, I believe, in Imp. So they have 14 attack and 85 HP right now, which is crazy talk. And then they also got the Ring Archer armor for their skirmishers. So that helps you. If
Oh
you're
yeah,
up against
that's
an
right.
Archer civ and you can't get the Onager right away, you can play
Skirms
Skirm
got
plus Woad
buffed.
and be completely fine, at least until you can get to your heavy siege. So I think that puts Celts in a pretty good spot for late game. And they've always been a pretty decent early to mid game civ anyways. Still a bit awkward, but not the worst civ anymore. Next up, let's take a high level civ, maybe a meso civ. Let's go ahead.
Okay, he pretty much already put it in place, unless he's just moving too fast. But I would personally disagree. I don't think mines are that good, but that's probably just for me. I don't have that much success with mines. I get why they're considered super good, but on my list they would not be S tier. But that's probably because I like cavalry too much. Oh, B tier. I would probably put them A, but yeah, you'd say B tier. High B, okay. Are you generally not Mezzo fan or are just hating on the mines? I don't know. Aztecs above mines. I probably agree that I would personally rather have Aztecs than mines. Those Eldorado Eagles are fantastic though. They just win you games late game if you get there. And the cheap archers are also nice if you go 2-range archer. I don't know. They're probably A for me.
and stick the Mayans right up in S tier. I don't even like to hide it anymore. I think the Mayans are a fantastic civilization. Like they've been really strong, like borderline OP on land maps for a long time now. I don't think like they should be nerfed or anything like that because Mayans are not like that special on other maps. But on Arabia, they are like exactly what you want to be playing because I think it's a civilization that has good economy, great units, and an insane late game. With the two javelin skirmishers, 100 HP eagles, plumed archer, siege ram, all the good stuff. Very, very solid civ, and one that you see in tournaments very frequently when it comes to Arabia. They're not going to be top of S tier, by the way. They're going to be probably somewhere at the end there, but for all intents and purposes, they are definitely very solid. Okay, let's tackle. Ooh, this is a nice one. The Chinese.
Okay. I'm gonna try to stop it before he shows us where he's putting him. All right, Chinese. Your turn to start. Where would you put Chinese? D or C? Okay. Is that where you would put them, or is it where you think Hera will put them? Because I feel like there's a difference there. Right, yeah. So that's on your list? Because I think for me they're probably B. I don't hate them, but I definitely don't play particularly well with them. Yeah, I think Hera will put them higher. He put them on S tier for the longest time, but I think they have been bumped down to A. Pretty much just because of power creep. Like there are so many other powerful civs now. They do have those extra vills that just superchargers your eco from the beginning. And then the cheap techs, like those are the two things. They used to say B or A, yeah. I think the pros value the cheap techs so much because the pro games is so much about counters and counters, and like you have to do a lot of tech switches, and those are much easier with the Chinese because all the upgrades are cheaper. So I think that's still a big, even though that also got nerfed quite recently. Maybe you're right. Maybe he puts it all the way down on B actually because of all the nerfs. They were slightly buffed the last patch though, but that's like more house space is not really very valuable. So yeah, let's see. I say A. I think he's gonna put it in A.
The Chinese is a civ that got buffed recently, so I'm going to stick them in the A tier. And actually, I think they belong ahead of the Saracens, so I'm going to put it like that. Yeah, that seems right to me. I think the Chinese are a civilization that have always been top tier. They did suffer a nerf a couple patches ago, and now just recently, last patch, they actually got a little bit of a buff. So let me explain that. So now they made it so their town centers give an extra 5 population space. So in the early game, you get 15 pop in your town center instead of 10. This means that you don't need a house. You can just go ahead and randomly just be at 15 pop. So you just take a lot of sheep, and your start is a lot easier. This will help lower level players. This will help top players in letting them get a really sharp build in.
Game, by the way.
And it also helps you in the mid game because you're making a town center that counts as an extra house. So you're getting a little bit of extra saving. That being said, they're not as strong as they once were because they lost, 5% of their economic or not economy, but it's a kind of an economy bonus where all your techs are cheaper. They lost 5% per age on that a while back. So I think they belong in the top of A, but not quite as OP as they once were. So next up, we've got the Bulgarians here.
Okay. Whew. Just made it. Bulgarians. I don't think they're very high. I am going to put those in C. Yeah. They might even be bad, actually. But I think they are the worst civ. Maybe Hunts. I know Hera hates the Huns right now, which is ironic because he used to play only Huns back in the day, like Hun Wars. But like Bulgarians, they have some tricky plays with like the auto upgraded militia, so Men at Arms Rush is pretty nice. Yeah, like the Kreposts are nice, but basing your whole play around a forward, essentially a castle drop, it's extremely it's extremely risky, right? Like if you know that your opponent is going to forward castle. Yeah. I mean, it's strong if it works, but I think especially among pros, it's so unlikely to work. So I'm actually going to say D for this one. But it's the Hussars. They have great Hussars. He loves Hussars because you get those extra attack speed Hussars. That's actually good. You don't have any real eco bonuses, right? You only have cheaper stone costs on TCs, which I guess you can actually go 4 TC right away, but how often can you pull off 4 TC vil production on Arabia anyway? So that doesn't really help you on Arabia, I don't think. You can protect your eco with it, but and you want to spend wood on other things, and there's no wood discount going along with that stone discount. So I'm actually gonna stick to D. I think maybe you're right here that it's gonna be C because yeah, they do have some good stuff, but it's just I don't feel like it's good for Arabia. I don't think Bulgarians are a toilet sieve generally. They're like a mid-tier across all land maps, maybe. Yeah, but yeah, that's true. I forgot about that one too. Maybe they're better than I think they are. But I said it, so I'm gonna stick to it. D.
Here. Now, the Bulgarians are probably a civilization that I would love to put somewhere around C or B, but the reality of it is they're actually a bad civ right now. And I know this might come as a little bit of a shock because I like the Bulgarians myself, but I just feel like they're not the civ for the meta
I promise I haven't seen this before.
right now. Men at arms are getting countered by one range very often, and although I like their options in like the mid game, Krepos Rush, long swords for free that could counter pikes, conics are solid, knights. Their late game with stir up hussars decent or very good actually. But they just don't feel like you get there often. Bulgarians is a civ where if your opponent makes mistakes, they look great. If your opponent plays well and safe, they feel terrible. And I think that more often than not, people are just playing very.
I have a buddy who plays Bulgarians every time he gets arena. And I think he actually blocks Arabia when he plays 1v1. So he gets arena all the time because there's either arena or Arabia, right? That's all you get on freaking ladder. No one plays special maps. And he plays Bulgarian Krepos Rush every time. And I think he's like 900. And he has great success with it. So they're good for in certain elo ranges. They wreck for sure.
Very safe against Bulgarians, not letting them pull ahead early, and then they just kind of get outpaced throughout the rest of the game. Also, lacking bombard cannon and last skirm armor makes it pretty difficult to deal with some archer civs in the late game. Like archer halb civs, your hussars aren't enough. It could be a little tricky. Still a good civ, as far as aggressive play goes, but it's definitely one of the weaker ones on the list. Next up, let's actually tackle the Bohemian.
Okay, this one's yours. This one's interesting. At least for me. But I'm curious to see what you think. So you go first. Yep, I think you're right. I think he is going to put them in one of those. Personally, this is an S tier civ for me. Bohemians are so good that mining bonus makes it so that where I like around 1200 where I am, you can actually pull off a pretty quick you can do some market shenanigans and pull off a fast castle, and then just start slapping castles on people. Or one castle at home, make some of those wagons. Now, I think the wagons have been slightly nerfed, so maybe this is not as good anymore. But you could just like plow your way forward with the wagons, and maybe add in some of those hand cannoneers if needed. And then just drop castles on people, and they stand no chance. And you get that stone so fast as well because of you just get the mining upgrades right away, which is unheard of, right? No one takes the second stone mining upgrade right away as you hit castle age. So you get stone way faster than anyone else. It's so cancer, actually. I love them to play with them. Yeah. I heard about that, the white phosphorus thing. He's like people hate him, right? I didn't catch why people hate him, but like a persona non grata in the community or something I heard. Anyway, but yeah, the wagons are sick. It's funny how like people called them bad, and then they got like a slight mechanical change, and now they're suddenly OP. Very strange.
Now the Bohemians.
Yeah, I didn't actually. Did I say anything? Yeah, I said I would put him in S, but I think you're right with the. I guess this is where he's ending up. ARB.
This is a civilization that I used to put very low. I'm gonna put it probably at the bottom of B tier right now, and the reason is it's one reason actually. It's the hand cannoneer and castle age that I've just been loving recently. I think Bohemians have always had a really good economy for all-in pushes, with like just sending all your villas on gold, a lot on stone. And now that the Hussite wagon, although it's been nerfed, is still pretty decent, you can threaten a castle drop and then a Hussite wagon siege push, which can be very hard to stop, especially
Exactly.
if you follow it up with Redemption Monk to counter your opponent's mangonels. So against civs that don't have Redemption, that's a viable option. And against the other civs, hand cannoneer push in castle age is very effective for the Bohemians. Bohemians also have a pretty solid late game. So although in Arabia the late game isn't spectacular because you sometimes die to Hussar raids, I think it's a civ that's overall viable, and if you play them correctly, they can be very, very powerful. Okay, next civ. Ooh, okay, let's do the new civ. Let's do the.
Okay, Georgians. I don't think they're that high. You kind of have to play your unique unit, the Manaspa. That's their military strength. They have good eco, but with the cards, but you really have to babysit those cards to get the most out of them, because if you just like right click a tree, yeah, I think C for this one. I think they're actually subpar, even though you'd think a Knight Civ, which is what they are like advertised as, would be good. I don't think they are that good now that the Manaspa is no longer like straight up bugged, and just works kind of like it's like a Lithuanian knight with all the relics, except the fact you have to make it from a castle, and it's not as good as the light is because it doesn't ignore armor, and I would say if the ox carts, no, it's mythology, Age of Mythology. What are they called? The mule carts. If the mule carts worked perfectly, this civ would maybe be A, maybe even S tier actually. But the mule carts cause so much bumping and mess for your villagers if you just right click a tree. It's just chaos. So you have to babysit the carts to make them work. If you do that, this civ is probably OP with the eco, but without it, if you're actually doing something else while you play, they're not that good, in my opinion. Hera probably has the APM to babysit his cards. So for him, I don't know. I think he feels like they lack options. So he might end up on B. What did you say? C or below B? Yeah. I think we agree on that.
Georgian. You guys are probably dying to know where the Georgians go. The Georgians can basically go in any tier, by the way, and there's a justification for it. They're a
Yeah,
civ
kind
that
of.
is, yet to be figured out. But in my expert analysis, I think they belong somewhere near the bottom of A tier. And I'll
Yeah,
explain
okay.
my reasoning for this one. So basically, the Georgians are a civ that has an amazing economy cast stage onwards with the churches. But before that, doesn't really
Oh yeah, the churches. I didn't think about that. Okay.
get a whole lot. So in early game, you only get the healing scouts, and you do get the nice free mule cart early game, which could help the build order at the start. But aside from that, not too much in like feudal age. Come cast age though, the civ pops off. Churches
Yeah. The churches are. I don't know. The churches. I guess for farming, the churches are sick. But it takes a while. Like he said, like he just said, like it takes a while for that to kick in. I think the initial investment, because they cost more than a normal monastery, I think, don't they? Fortified church. A2. I think they cost like 200 plus resources. Okay, no, 200 exactly. Okay, so it's more than a normal 175 for a monastery. So it's a fairly expensive investment. So it takes a little bit for that to pay off if you're looking for food. No, if you're looking for wood. But I guess if you slap it on a farm and let the farm sit there for a few minutes, it's gonna pay off. Hey, Quidnovi. We're looking at Hera's tier lists and we're guessing where he's gonna put civs.
just give you 10% gather rates, 10% build rate,
Come play
10%
with us.
everything rates
Unless you've
in
already
your
seen the video.
economy in an
Well, you
8-tile
can still play.
radius.
Pretend like you're
And that is the craziest economy bonus
OP
casted
at
onwards
guessing.
in the game, basically. It affects farmers, lumberjacks, gold miners. So you just stick these churches everywhere. They act as a defense as well because they shoot arrows if you garrison vills. So you get defense and an economy boost. And on top of that, their Manaspa absolutely busted. They fixed the glitch of the Manaspa getting extra damage, but forget
For
about
sure.
that. The Manaspa is still insanely strong. It gets a ton of attack, very cheap and very easy to mass. So I feel like it's one of those things where you have a good military and a good economy for Georgians Castlage onwards. So for now, it could change. For now, I'm putting them in the strong. I wouldn't be surprised if they jump to OP, and I wouldn't be surprised if they drop to B. I don't see them going C or lower though, just because they have too many options in Castlage onwards. You also get Halb full upgraded, Henkin or near Seagem. You have options. Okay, next up, let's go ahead and tackle a civilization like the Mongols.
Okay, Mongols. I'll check your memory then. Quid, where is he putting Mongols? Yeah, I'm not surprised. That's the easy one.
The Mongols are a civ that I'm going to be putting in the S tier, actually. Yeah, I think the Mongols belong in the S tier, probably ahead of the Mines. They definitely belong in the S tier, but probably ahead of the Mines as well. I think it's a civilization that's, especially with the discovery of step lancers and how strong they are, if it just feels broken in a lot of cases. Like imagine you get ahead early game because your start is so strong, and then you go ahead and get the castles first by using the market, selling stone, and then you just go full step lancer siege, and your opponent's still feudal. You break his base every single time. And on
Yeah,
top of
for
that, you have
sure.
an amazing late game with Mangadai.
Very
Castlage
scary.
onwards with Mangadai is just insanely good. Hussars are insanely good. Light cav control with higher HP, insanely good. The Civ just has no weakness right now. And in the past, I feel like we played like too many archer strategies with Mongols. I think cavalry strats with Mongols is much better, and Step Lancer gives you a very, very strong castage power spike there. Okay, next up we have got the
Okay, Burgundians. I'll take that one. I think he is going to put Burgundians in. Yeah, it's A or B for sure. I Ah, okay. Haven't played him yet. No. If it was Arena, he would put him in S tier for sure. But I don't think they are that good. No, I think especially at pro level, I think you kind of get picked apart early by like sharp archer build orders and things like that. And if you try to defend yourself, you're not taking advantage of your eco bonus because you have to invest, even though the upgrades are more expensive, oh, cheaper rather. The eco upgrades, it kind of takes a toll on your eco to pick them up early. So I think it's gonna be B.
Burgundians. I'm gonna go ahead and stick the Civ somewhere in the C tier. I actually like them less than
Oh,
Burmese.
C
Yeah,
tier.
Burgundians don't feel
Okay.
great right now. Obviously, they got a slight buff with the Castle Age Cavalier that feels like pretty good, but in general, I just don't think that the Civ offers too much on Arabia. If you get the perfect game with Burgundians, they feel amazing. You get all the relics or most of the relics. You get to get heavy plow early. It's a defensive game. You have a perfect map. Sure, they're fantastic. But if the map is like somewhat open, you don't have bloodlines in feudal age. If you get bowsaw and if you get like the extra eco tax, if you use your bonus, then you just kind of fall behind. You're forced to play defensive almost until it pays back. And other civs are just much more aggressive. So I think you're suffering for like 15 minutes at least every game with Burgundians before they start to pop off. Again, if the game is good, if you're a good Burgundian player, you have a good map, they feel fantastic. But if you don't get that, they're pretty weak. Cavalier comes in 20 seconds faster from 100 seconds to 80 seconds. So Cavalier power spike could hit faster, but still nothing to brag about in my opinion here.
Yeah, I have to say though, this is, I'm guessing what he is saying. At my level, like 1200, Burgundians are much better. They're probably A tier. The Cavalier in Castle Age is just ripping through 1200 players. So I kind of just know what he's gonna say. Yeah.
Next up, we're going to do the Britons. And
Well, now you get to shine. Where is he putting Britain's take? You get this one. Oh, I think those are two solid ones. It has to be there somewhere. I think he likes the cheap TCs because he likes the boom. But they have weak Hussars, so that's probably gonna take points away in a Heralist. I don't know. We'll see.
my hand was on it. So Britons, we're going to go ahead and stick. You might be surprised about this one as well. I'm going to stick them at the top of C tier.
Okay,
They're a
yeah.
civilization that feels pretty good. Again, similar to Burgundians, actually. If you get your perfect game and you have an easy wall, you get like archers plus boom. But most of the time, what happens with the Britons is that you're forced off archers. They attack you with like spear skirm, or they have elite skirm knights. And if you just have crossbows, it just doesn't cut it. Also, your economy bonus, your main economy bonus, is the extra town centers costing less. But the thing is,
That's good. It's all right. Yeah, I'm surprised about this one. This has changed a lot. He used to put them super high, and not that much has changed with them really. So that must be just power creep. Oh, okay. Oh, you don't like them? Okay. Is that what happens? Is that how you feel the games play out? Like you just get countered by skirms? Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Like you would think they could do more though. Like with the sheep bonus, that gives you quite a lot faster food income. Spear skirms. I guess that's the. Yeah, I guess. I guess. I guess. I guess Scout Archer is just too expensive to play in Feudal Age. Because that was kind of what I was thinking. Like if you struggle with skirms, you can go scout, and scout archer is kind of top dog strategy, right? Because then you can. But I guess another problem with the Britons is that they don't actually have much bonus with their archer. Oh well, faster working ranges, but I guess it doesn't cut it.
It's not exactly your main priority when it comes to extra town centers on most games of Arabia. You can't always jump to 3 TC. I think Britain's not getting the savings elsewhere kind of hurts them sometimes, especially since you're only on crossbow. You start adding.
True, which is sad. I wish there was more going on in feudalage. I like feudalage. Yeah, maybe that's actually what I'm reminiscing back to when the woodlines would like give you no do you no favors and you had to defend with army. I'm an old soul, I guess.
In town centers, you're like perma defense. Again, it could be really good in some cases. Good Britain player will like them, but in general, it's a civ that I'd recommend to stay away from. At least for Arabia. Okay, let's go ahead and tackle the Gurjaras now. I think Gurjaras will be.
Ooh, okay. See, I didn't pay attention, but he's already up there. Is it S or is it A? I think it's A. I don't think Gurjaras is S tier. Is it really S tier? Oh, you're saying S? Okay. I sure don't feel like they're S for me, but I feel like Okay, so I played a Gurjaras game the other day. It was against Celts, so maybe not like the strongest empirical evidence, but um, I opened crossbow, and I felt like that was the way to go with them. Because if you open anything from the stable, that's what people expect, and they just shut you down with I played so many games where I've been overrun by pikes, like literally overrun by pikes. They come into my base and just like poke everything, and my ego is grinding to a halt. Um, Sounds like an ass strategy, and it probably is. I just died to it because I want to play a cav with Gujaras. Yeah, they're hard. But yeah, I opened crossbow, and then the other guy went skirms. Or actually, he went men at arms, and I'd already planned on crossbow, so that worked out really well. He was Celts, so you could kind of read that one coming. And then I played on with crossbow, just kept making crossbow until he was forced to get into skirms, and then I could start flooding cavalry. And that worked out. But it's like you have to take this huge detour out of your bonuses to have your bonuses kick in later. Like it feels strange. But anyway, it's probably just because I'm bad.
Somewhere pretty high up. I'll probably stick them in the B tier. They should
Okay.
be better than Bohemians, though. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for Gujaras. They're a civilization that has a lot of good options, good economy, good unique units, and
Yeah. Yeah, well, scout into camel. Like then if the other guy defends with obviously if you tear him apart with the scouts, it probably works out for you, but if he defends with skirms, then he suddenly has a bunch of pikemen to counter your camels with. At least that's what happens to me. And camels suck against pikes, right? It's not like knights where like if you have enough, you can take a fight and survive with like a bunch of HP on each knight and still do eco damage. Like camels just die. And especially Gujaras, they don't even have anything extra against the pikes because their bonus is against cavalry. So it probably works on a higher level, but at least for me, scouts into camels, I've tried that before. It is not working for me. Yeah, I guess. But like it's good to be stuck on something that counters your enemy's units, though. Like I agree, it sucks to get stuck on pikes because then your opponent can switch into something that easily kills pikes because there's so many things that easily kills pikes. But it's not camels. But I guess you want composition in Castle Age anyway. So yeah, I guess if you make like 5 crossbow and all the pikes die, so I guess it makes sense.
If you like camels, then they're a very solid civ because their camels are legit. I like the Gajars. I think they're pretty good. Nothing too spectacular, but they have a lot of good matchups against some of the lower tier civs. So yeah, I think they belong in the B tier. Also, randomly decent matchup against Mongols as well, so that's nice. Okay, next up, we did a camel civ.
It looks like he's doing Franks. Quid, tell us about Franks. Makes sense. No longer S tier, that's for sure. Yeah, I would definitely put Franks above Britons. I would probably go for A tier, actually. Franks are good, even though they're ass without gold, which sometimes happens on Arabia.
Camel, so let's do the Franks. Franks are a civ that I feel like I used to put them a lot higher, but nowadays maybe ahead of the Bohemians. I have to pass it over to this hand. Very nice. Yeah, maybe ahead of the Bohemians, but not much more. Ahead of the Gujaras can work as well. I feel like Gujaras have overall better matchups though. Thing is, like Frank's camel civs got so ridiculous. Like Saracen's getting such a big buff that like
Yeah,
I
that's a
just feel
good
like
point.
Franks are just not that special anymore. And yeah, I think the Saracens and like the Gujaras, the Hindustani, the Berbers, even there's so many matchups that give Franks a hard time. The Mongols, and I just feel like Franks aren't really higher than B tier right now. They're still really smooth to play, still extremely strong, but they also got nerfed a couple patches ago, making their castles in Castle Age 15% discount instead of 25% discount, and I think that's a pretty big hit. So yeah, I'll probably stick them at B tier. Right there seems fine for me. Okay, next up, let's do the Huns.
All right, takes. Give us a rundown on Hunts. I think I know where he's gonna put them. Just because I've heard him talk about the Hunts a lot lately. Yeah. You're in the right end of the scale for sure. I think he's gonna slap them in D. Yeah. I don't necessarily agree that they are D tier on Arabia. They're definitely D tier on some other maps, but yeah, I would say that the Cav Archer spam floats them to a C, but I don't think Hera agrees.
I actually
okay.
really don't like the Huns. Okay, fine. We'll put it right there. I think it's a good
Well
spot.
played.
I'm pretty confident with that
got it.
actually because the Huns feel very generic, very bland. Also, their biggest bonus, I talked about this a lot. It's no houses, right? Which sounds really good. But houses are used to wall up your base. So most of the time with Huns, I'm just stuck playing open. And like my economy bonus, not building houses, is saving me wood, but it's also keeping me open. Whereas other civs like Dravidians just get 200 wood for free. They don't have to like skip out on houses. So they have houses to wall their base, and they're also getting the extra 200 wood to pressure me in early game. And even though Dravidians aren't like the most spectacular civ, it's still enough to like put pressure on Huns, for example. And that's why Viper loves the Dravidians. It's the only reason. But yeah, I think Huns belong in the C tier. I think that makes sense to me. It sucks I like the civ, but it's just very generic. Also, their units are good, but it's also predictable because it's always cav civs. It's either like it's always cav units. It's always like heavy CA, Hussar, Paladin, Tarkin. None of their other options are that spectacular. So again, camel civs gives them a problem.
I feel like it comes down to these camels again. the traditional OP cav civs like Franks and Hunts, they just suffer so hard with all the new strong camel options.
Arbless Halb civs can sometimes give them a problem. They're just not the best civ right now, sadly. Tarkins did get a small buff, which is nice, but that's about it.
Ooh, this one's interesting. Cumans. I think that's a solid A. It's not S tier. I think we are. It's almost like it's camel meta, to be honest, because they nerfed crossbows and arbalest upgrade cost, right? Which really did stuff with the meta. And now it's as if they're regulating that by making so many camel civs OP. But Cumans. This is like a one trick as well, right? With the 2 TC, it's just that the one trick is so strong. And then they're just like hot shit in Imperial Age, but it doesn't matter because you already won. More siege like scorpions. How are humans good in Imp? Explain. Good eco. But do they have good eco? I guess you get there before other people because eco is good early. Yeah. Yeah, Paladin. Yeah, they have full upgrade Paladin, I guess. Yeah, an extra speed. So that is nice. Full eco. Okay, I didn't actually consider that. I don't know what civs get when it comes to eco upgrades. That's like a huge black hole in my knowledge library. Yeah, I don't know about the camels because I think they're the only civ that don't get heavy camel, and just like camel rider kind of falls off hard in Imperial Age. I think I've played several games where I've gone camels with the Cumans, and then I go to click heavy camel, and I was like, ugh, right, it's this civ where that button doesn't exist, and I become very sad. Citram Halb Hussar. Sounds pretty strong, have to admit. Yeah. Alright. I guess they're better than I give them credit for.
Cumans. I don't mind the Cumans. They have a nice UTC boom, which could be
Oh,
nice. Cumans
okay.
are OP in lower levels, by the way. And this is the
Okay.
definition of
I guess that's why I put them high. Low noob.
lower level guys for Cumans. If you can 2TC boom at any elo and you go unpunished, spam them because you will win every single game by 2TC booming and going all in castlage. It's OP, even at like 2000 elo. Pick Cumans.
Okay, if you call 2K low elo, if that's your measure, then I'll take it.
Try it out 2TC boom. If you don't get punished, you're golden. So at a lot of elos, this is good. Higher level, you might get punished too often, and I feel like it's not the strongest play. It's still good sometimes, though. Other than that, though, Cumans are pretty bland, so it's like the only thing that I really like about them. Actually, I do like the ramp push. The ramp push is not bad, but the ramp push
Ooh,
does
nice
require your
call,
opponent
Quid.
to make mistakes in Feudal Age. So the Feudal ramp push is good, but it requires your opponent to make mistakes. I've been cooking with it, though. I've been cooking, but it's still like a subpar civ for sure. Next up, okay, fine. Let's just
Takes. Give us your take on Dravidian. Dravidians. On Arabia. Keep in mind. No water. No Therisidae. Unless you can slap one in a pond. C or D? I think that's accurate. But I think it's gonna be C. Because, like you just said when he talked about the hunts, they have that 200 extra wood, which goes very far at a point in the game where you really need it. So I don't think it's gonna be D. But they are like severely lacking a lot of things in their tech tree. So yeah, I think C is good.
Just do Dravidians here, just for Viper. Oh, this is like Burmese is my civ, Dravidian is his civ. Do I give him the benefit of the doubts? I actually think Burmese is overall better. I'm gonna put them, yeah, just right here, ahead of Cumans, but I think Burmese is actually better than Dravidians. Dravidians do feel really smooth early, good scrim spear play. Extra 200 wood lets you put pressure. Their infantry line is really good. Their late game is solid as well because you have Wood Steel. Even Wood Steel light cap is like passable. Skirms and late game carry pretty hard. Your bomber cannons are solid. Urumi Swordsman? Nah, terrible. terrible. Let's not get crazy here. Okay, next up.
No joke though, Urumi Swordsmen are actually sick. I'm wholly on the Viper side of the fence in that debate. Their reload time on their special ability, it's like it cools down in like 7 seconds or something. It's crazy. They do that all the time. That extra damage. Compared to the other like cooldown things in the game, 7 seconds is probably wildly inaccurate, but I'll look it up. It feels like they do it all the time, at least. I've gotten pushed by them on Arena several times. There's this guy, there's the same guy all the time, too. Like in the 1200s, there's this guy who like abuses the Dravidians on Arena. What's their name again? Brain fog. Urumi. What is their cooldown on their ability? Does it say? Not here. Once every 24 seconds. Okay. This is very far away from 7. So I guess it's not as sick as I feel like it is, but oh. Okay, maybe I'm just bad.
We've got Byzantine.
Byzantines. Talk about the Byzantines, Squid. I honestly don't know where he's gonna put this one. Yeah, I guess. I guess. Not too good. Shouldn't be too good. It's this weird civ. There's like a slippery snake that you can't get a good hold on. It always wiggles its way out with this cheap trash. I hate them. Hate them with a passion. But they're probably not that good. You guys are probably right.
Let's put them right behind the Franks. I think that makes sense. Yeah, right there. I'm happy with Byzantine there. I feel like it's a pretty good civ. A lot of people would rate them higher. It's a bit my bias. I think they're a great civilization. They have a lot of good matchups, but I also feel like they get outpaced by a lot of the stronger civs, and they just die before they can even play the game. Because you need to use a lot of your cheap units with Byzantine to pull ahead and to maintain economy, or not maintain economy, but to maintain presence on the map because you don't have an economy bonus. So it basically is your economy bonus to spam units. But I feel like you die to like all the mesocivs, unless you get the cataphracts by some miracle. You just die to all mesocivs because eagles are basically unstoppable for Byzantine. You have to play like longswords to beat them. It's so difficult. Um, so I just feel like they have some awkward matchups.
That is probably true, but to like make your argument that a civ is bad because it dies to 3 out of 45 civs, I don't know if I guess it's because Meso is popular on Arabia, though. I guess it makes sense.
Sometimes they get outpaced by the top tier civs as well. But overall, it's a solid civ. If you like Byzantine, play them. Next up, we're going to do a fan favorite here. We're going to pick up the Goths, and I'm going to
We'll be
probably
right
stick them
here.
at the bottom.
Okay, I guess there's not much guessing going on here. Yeah, I'll just keep playing.
Of B tier, which is surprising for my list. I know all of my last tier lists, like a year ago, Goth are like dead last. They're like D tier, F tier, and if there's something lower, I stick them there. But they got a really nice buff recently. The hunt lasting longer gives Goth such a good early game. Now they have a good early game. If you lure a lot of deer, you can go for meta arm rush, you can go for scrim spear rush, militia rush, everything you want is open to you. And then their late game is very spectacular as well. So the only downside of Goths is that like mid game, that little gap where sometimes it could be a little bit difficult to make the civ work. But if you get through that gap, get to late game or win the game early, they're so nice. Also,
yeah, I agree to this. I think this applies on maybe even more so on lower levels than on high levels. I guess Goths has always been good on like a really low level. Like well, don't wanna insult anyone, but like say sub 850, right? That's my definition of very low. Goths just wreck all. But at the more low to medium level, where I consider myself to be, like 1200 to let's say 1500 maybe, I'm imagining Goths has become much better with this buff. And I guess it mirrors on the higher level as well.
so like the instant loom is nice. Gets you ahead one villager, lets you lame, send the forward, whatever. It opens the game for you, which is a really good thing. Next up, we're going to tackle one of my favorite civs here. It's going to
That's an interesting one. Khmer or Khmer or however people wants it to be pronounced. They are really, really good. Like objectively, they are good. Personally, I haven't had that much success with them. I don't know why, but yeah, I guess I just have to objectively real or admit that they are great and I just suck. And yeah, you'll have to be correct here, I think. But this is an S tier on his list.
be the Khmer. This is a civ that's going to go into the S tier, and I think, you know what, I'm going to also stick it above the mines here.
Yeah,
Just
that
because I
makes
feel
sense.
like Mongols beat Khmer, but Khmer beat mines. So I think this makes sense. And like all of these three civs should like pretty much beat all of these anyways, right? In general. I feel like Khmer have an insane economy, really good early game. The only downside for Khmer, literally the only downside, is sometimes it could be awkward to make a late game comp work. Ballista Elephant and Heavy Scorpion are clunky and awkward units. Although they're the best units for Khmer, they could be hard to make work. But I think just spamming Kassar, going Arbalest Skirm as well. You have Halbs, not the greatest Halbs, so you have Halbs available, makes for a pretty solid comp. If Cavalier, everything's golden for Khmer, and your economy in your early game completely carries you. Also, the house hopping, super nice. I'm a huge fan of house hopping. You guys have seen the shorts. You know what I'm talking about. Next up, let's do the Armenians. Hi.
Okay, Armenians. Takes your back. No, did you play the what? Did you say you haven't played the DLC? I guess I talked about the Armenians earlier because I thought he was gonna go alphabetically. Okay. Give us your take then. I know. I love this DLC. I think it's really cool. I've played all the campaigns too, which I really like. Oh yeah, we said VRC. Yep. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah, because they have some eco bonuses going on, and they're lacking options, but I think middle of the road. Yeah, you do. The Armenia campaign is fun. Armenia. Well, what I like about the Armenia is that it ties into some of the original campaigns, like the ties into the Saladin campaign, which is fun.
Hiding in the corner. How dare you? Armenians. It's in the palm of my hand again. Where do I put the Armenians? Again, it's another civ that can be put anywhere, basically. But I think I'm going to put them in the top of B tier. And this might come as a
Okay.
surprise because a lot of you guys probably are convinced that Armenians are buns on land maps. And you have a point. Like, they're pretty bad. As far as, like, their late game options, no bomber cannon is awkward. No cav, or not good cav, feels a bit awkward as well. So you have to play some awkward comps for sure. I'll give you that. But the early game and their mid game is insanely good in my opinion. So starting things off, they got a recent buff that makes their eco upgrades more efficient. So it went from like 25% to 40%. So although they lost 2 man slot, it's still a huge bonus. So that helps their gold mining upgrade, stone mining upgrade, and it also helps their wood upgrades, which is amazing. And in general, I feel like the church and the warrior monk is their best friend. And I'm actually releasing a video with the Armenians guide, I think next Thursday, and it's an Armenians build order. It's sick. I've already invented the strategy you guys have seen in the video. It's Spearman Drush into relic control and Castlade. You get 6 relics every game with Armenians if you do it correctly. And it's amazing. The build order guide is coming. The strategy guide is coming this Thursday. But love the Armenians. I think it's a civilization that's fun to play.
I would agree with you
Great
there.
options. Their unique unit is pretty good as well. It makes their Goth matchup free. It helps them in a lot of other matchups as well. I'm a big fan of it.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I think so. You get it for free, right? Like the churches, when you have to spam churches, you're spending a lot of wood. I thought you meant like the Armenian church bonus that you get the extra relic. That one should be pretty clear. But yeah, I would agree that's even better than the Georgian churches. Yeah. Yes, true. For late game, it stacks and gets sick. But does it kick in fast enough, though? Sorry. Yeah. Definitely good if you go monks, yes. And I guess monks are still broken. So.
It's also really fun to play. I think forward churching, right off the bat in Castlage, when you get like a free relic outside your opponent's base and it shoots arrows, is a really good strat.
Yeah.
So I think Armenians are very, very solid for that regard. Next up, let's go ahead. What do I want to grab? Oh, the Persians can be fun to.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna take this one. Straight S. Easy. They're so good. They need a nerf. Badly. Even without docks. With docks, they're just through the roof. I'll be very surprised if this is not S tier.
To talk about. Boom, S tier. Yeah. Simple as that. I know they got a nerf recently for sure, but they're still extremely solid. So far as like absolutely broken. If you get there, you're golden. The early game is amazing. You're up 1 vil from the start of the game, and you continue to develop with more and more vils as you go on. The new bonuses completely cover all the weaknesses that Persians used to have. The CA play is solid. I love the new Persians. They lost the 5 gold per military kill bonus. That was overkill, so they lost that. That hurts a bit, but I still think Persians are like insanely good. It doesn't really hurt them that much. I think S tier. Probably mine still maybe. Maybe I put the Persians ahead of the Mayans. I think I still would prefer Khmer, but yeah, they're probably right there.
I sure don't.
Okay,
But
next up,
okay.
we're gonna go ahead and tackle the Ethiopians.
Okay. Quid, tell us about Ethiopians. I guess more so, like, you've seen the video, but like maybe more so your take. Because I'm genuinely curious. What do you think about Ethiopians? B? Okay. Yeah. I feel like Ethiopians, for me at least, I think Ethiopians are much better than Britons. I don't think they're S tier, but I think I would put them A. That extra resources you get just makes it so more smooth to do things and be aggressive. But what did you say again? uh, A or B? Yeah, yeah. I'd say A, but we'll see.
Here. That's a pretty simple one for me. I'll
Oh,
probably
okay.
put it ahead of Goths, but
So
yeah,
our
maybe ahead of
agrees with you.
Bohemians as well. Yeah, that feels right. Ethiopians, I've always said this. If you like archers, they're a great civ. If you don't like archers, avoid them because they're nothing too spectacular. Oh, I'm pitching Japanese here. They're nothing too spectacular, and it's a civilization where you get ahead nice and early with the extra 100 food, 100 gold per age. But if you can't do anything with that, if you don't find damage, then other civs usually pull ahead. Their late game is really good, but sometimes you just die to skirms in like Castle Age, and it could be pretty difficult. What I do like about Ethiopians is it's an archer civ that has camels, and I like that. And I also like that you get ahead with it, but it does feel a little awkward, and it does have some bad matchups like Byzantine, for example. Okay, next up, we're gonna go ahead and
Okay.
snag the Aztecs.
I kind of gave this one away, but takes. You talked about Aztecs earlier. Yeah, you want them in A? Looks like that's what's gonna happen here. It used to be S tier for him, like a solid S tier, but I think you're right. They're just gonna put them in A. Guess they got nerfed on the eco bonus, right?
Here, so Aztecs. Ooh, that's a good one. Honestly, probably bottom of A tier. This might be the lowest I've ever rated Aztecs, but they deserve it. They're good. They haven't been nerfed, but they're not great. They don't feel OP anymore like they.
Oh, they have been nerfed. They lost. They went from +5 carry capacity to +3, I think. I mean, they probably haven't been nerfed since last time we made a tier list, but
were in the past. Other civs really caught up. Georgians feel like if you get to Manaspa, what do Aztecs do? And I think Aztecs are, if things go well for you in the game, you get relics, you start piling the pressure, you're all in Eagle Monk. Okay, the Aztecs are fantastic. But if things aren't like absolutely amazing, then Aztecs feel like subpar. If you're kept open, you're getting raided constantly, they feel a bit weird. So a great civilization when things are nice, but sometimes yeah, it's just not the best case scenario for Aztecs. Still a good.
yeah, like the big hole in the Aztec tech tree is Halberdier, right? Like if Aztecs had Halberdier, I feel like they would be crazy. But the Garland Wars just doesn't make up for the Halberdier bonus damage. So that's kind of tough. You like you have to try to convert every knight that comes at you, which just can be tough.
Civ though. Still, I still think they're strong.
Or not knights, but like full upgrade cavalier or whatever.
They're just not as OP as they once were. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and pick up the Portuguese.
For like Jaguar, yeah, against the right units they are, but they're not that great against anything with range though. And they're made from castles, so kind of exclusive.
This is a civ that probably belongs in the S tier as well, and probably ahead of Mayans, but yeah, not ahead of Persian.
Extra range. Yeah, I can't keep those Meso Skirm bonuses or unique upgrades from each other. Extra range, is that what the... Yeah, it's Atlatl, right? For the Aztecs. Giving extra range. Kind of nice. Both on attack and range, yeah. Yeah, that is pretty good. Have to admit.
That feels right for them. Portuguese are a civ
Oh, we just skipped Portuguese. All right, we'll let him talk.
that, in my opinion, it feels really good, and I might have put it like absolutely #1 civ a while ago, but the spear scrim strategy that's been popping off recently a little bit kind of counters Portuguese. It pushes them off berries. Portuguese want to play archers usually, and spear scrim pushes them off archers as well. But I think if you get the castlage with Portuguese, cheap knights, cheap
We
crossbows,
probably
cheap
could have guessed
siege,
that one. So.
cheap monks, oh, that feels so good. The berry bonus helps early. So it's an OP civ for sure, but sometimes doesn't feel as strong as some of the other ones on the list. Great late game though. Love the late game. Organ guns were nerfed recently, but they're still damn strong. So
Organ guns are crazy. I guess they got nerfed, but that's just like a drop in the ocean compared to how crazy they are. I guess it's something about high HP units. They don't do that great, but honestly, they do. They just wreck everything.
definitely worth going for organ guns in some matchups too. Next up, let's go ahead and shout out Spirit of the
Shout out. Okay, Japanese. Another. Guess it usually functions as a archer civ. But with a few quirks and twerks. Attack got nerfed. Yeah, the organ guns you're talking about now? Their attack got nerfed, but got buffed. Yeah, I was back and forth on that one. There are other projectiles now deal more damage. Yeah. So like groups of units to tear through them. Then one attack after one projectile does full damage. Yep. Yeah, organs. Yep, they hit hard. What do you think about Japanese? I think that one's hard to place. There not being any fish to fish is definitely not good for them. Yeah. Probably C, right? They're not that good. Their infantry is very good, but it's still infantry. Yeah, I think we go with C.
Let's pick up the Japanese here. He's not gonna be happy with this one though. Oof. I'll put Japanese right behind Britons. That feels good. Listen, Spirit, I did my Burmese dirty for you. I gave you Japanese a bit higher. They're a good civ overall. Their new CA, nice. Not as OP as before though, because they just took away the +2 damage for skirms.
Yeah,
But
that
they're
was
still
crazy.
nice as a late game unit. And yeah, I think the Japanese are very smooth, but they lack some options in late game like bomber cans and whatnot.
Standard
so they can't
is
be like too much stronger.
sounds right.
Also, what's cool is that I can actually go for closed hand pinches now. I was doing open hand, but I'm gonna.
Played was Japanese on enclosed. He went light cav. I guess and light cav in castle, yeah, and spam me hard and raid me to death. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very raidable map, right? With all that spread out. Like you can wall your mini base, but you have nothing in there, so. Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily like pretty much any civ with light cav probably would have done that as well as Japanese. Whereas they have some eco going on for them, but I don't think light cav is particularly good with Japanese. Ooh, the classic Tercio strat. Pike's hand cannons. Couldn't get your food, Rifle Pikes, okay. Yeah, if the light cow like get in there and tear your eco apart, it's hard to do anything, no matter what you go for. But around 1100, right? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we're around the same. But yeah, Japanese in C tier, that's where we
gonna
were.
show you the
No,
close.
oh, Pulse. Quid, tell us about Pulse. A or B sounds right to me. It's another one of those, I think wherever he puts, where did he put, yeah, oh, starting to get tired. Burgundians, where did he put Burgundians? They are, has he did them earlier, right? Oh yeah, all the way down here. I feel like Poles match up well with Burgundians because they have the same problem that they want to expand a lot of eco before they get going. And I guess, yeah, you can't like hide your folwarks anywhere either. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what he does. I'm curious.
Hand pinches, and comment down below what you guys would use this program for. It's only $10 on Steam, so like I said, you can definitely pick it up and mess around with it if you're interested. I'll leave links to the website down in the description below so you can check it out. But let me know in the comments what you see this program being used for. Virtual touchscreen 2.
He's teasing
I'm having
you.
a blast just using it here. So anyways, closed hand pinch for the poles. Dude, honestly, I'm gonna put poles.
Yeah, right next to Burgundians.
Right
That's
there.
about right. Yes, yes,
I'll
yes.
put poles right there. I don't think that they deserve to be anything higher. They feel really awkward setting up the full work farms. And a lot of times in Arabia, you just don't have space. Your map's like a hill fest. And it's just so hard to set up the full work farms and get by. And in general, I feel like the poles are just not that special at the moment either. They have an insane late game if you get there. But a lot of times you just suffer on defense. And a lot of the other stuff just put so much pressure on you that you can't really full work farm properly. And that's a big problem for the poles. Next up, okay, let's talk
Is it gonna be Romans?
about the Romans. That's
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It depends on the generation on Arabia too, right? Like, do you have good wood lines? Can you wall? Are there lots of hills in your base? Romans, yeah, they're not. I don't think they're awful. And their eco is good, right? Like it's that plus 5%, pretty good. I actually think it's a B. I think they're viable. I haven't played them much. Just because I bought the DLC when it came out, but I always play at random, so I just don't. I just haven't played them much because they haven't been around for that long. Like, I haven't had time to play them statistically. Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe a lot of people don't have them. I know Spirit of the Law ranked the Return of Rome as the worst value AOE2 DLC, which probably makes sense. So maybe people try to save their money on that one. Yeah, for sure. I'll play the Romans. They are they can really smash if you get it right. That extra armor, you get plus 1 extra armor when you pick up the feudalage. When you pick up the feudalage armor for the infantry. So like archers can't freaking stop you. They're like Burmese. No, not Burmese. They're like Malian swordmen. And you can just walk archers down And then you have this plus 5% on everything eco behind. And in Castle Age, you can still make that crazy unique unit. It's still pretty good. Or you can do other things too. They have good knights, and it's just the range is not good. But yeah, I think it's a B.
It's a pretty new civ. I'm a huge Romans enjoyer, by the way. I'm not sure where I want to put them. I think right here makes a lot of sense for the Romans. Actually, no, I'm going to put them ahead of the Gujaras as well.
Yeah, they have good scorpions as well. It's just scorpions, like they still get flattened by mangonels so easily. But yeah, if you can make scorpions work, sure.
Ahead of the Armenians, no, I think right there makes sense. Excellent economy. Okay, the reason why Romans sucked before was because everyone kept trying the meta arm stuff with the armor in feudal age. That is a bad strategy. That dies to archers. That's not a good strat. It's really good
Maybe at
at
high
lower
level. I
levels,
guess high
and
level
it's still
plays
really
like
good if you
defends
catch
with.
your opponent off guard.
Oops.
But
Click
aside from
something.
that, it's nothing special. So I think we
What's
kept
going
trying
on?
to do that, and that's not the way to play Romans. The best way to play Romans is just playing a little bit standard early game and letting your 5% boost to everything kind of carry you through the game. Their late game is also really good at spamming a lot of units and putting the pressure. They're a really good counter to cav civs, for example. Sometimes you get a little awkward in late game with no bomber cannon. So if you're on like heavy scorpion or something, sometimes you die to enemy bomber cannons. But if you just like open the map and like spread out the raids, they're really good. Best age is Castle Age. All in Castle with Romans is super solid. Next up we've got, let's do big.
Ooh, Bengalis. Ticks. What do you think? Bengalis. Oh, okay. I don't think they're D. I don't think they're D. Even on Arena. Because you get extra villagers when you reach feudal age. 2 extra villagers. That's a pretty strong bonus on any map. And then you have elephant archers, which sounds strange, but their elephant archers take less damage from skirmishers, I think, which is normally the counter to elephant archers. And those guys are so tanky. I don't know if you guys saw the Hera versus what was it? It was the finals in Warlords 2? Was that what it was? Where they played Migration. Hera had Byzantines and Tato had Bengalis. Or no. Was that Dravidians? Or maybe it was TTL. I don't remember. Warlords 2 AoE. I want Liquipedia. That was a sick game. If you haven't seen it, you have to look it up. Yeah, this is where Hera was against Tato. Yeah, it was this one. It's the last game, I think. Can I see the games that were played here? Yeah. Oh, that was Dravidians. Okay, are they the ones? Am I mixing up the civs here? Are they the ones with the skirm resistance? Where are the bonuses here? Oh no, they attack faster. Okay. Skirmishers and elephant archers attack faster. Okay, then I think it is the Bengalis. Where the elephants have resistance to skirms, which is normally like the dirt cheap counter. Yeah. Yeah, so it's 25% less bonus damage of all kinds. Which is, well, I guess pikes as well then. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I think they're gonna be B.
Bengalis here. Bengalis are a weird one. They got the Ratha bonus actually. Ratha
Looks like
buff.
I'm wrong.
I'm gonna stick them right there. I think that's fair. The Ratha buff is nice. It basically gives splash damage to the Ratha. That could prove to be broken. If that's broken, I can take Bengalis from here and probably stick them somewhere here or maybe like right there. If the Rathas prove to be broken in melee mode. I haven't tested it yet much, but keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, Bengalis are
Yeah, I don't know
subpar
about
civ.
that.
They have really good monks, pretty good economy, and really good late game units. But they just feel a little bit like kind of generic and pretty mediocre in like the first 25 minutes. So that could be somewhat problematic. Next up, we'll quickly do the Vietnamese. Hey, why not? The Vietnamese, they're
Yeah, Vietnamese. I'm giving you all the archer civs, Quid, but tell us about Vietnamese. I feel like this one's an easy one, but I might be wrong. Yeah, it's definitely high. Honestly, to me, it's like, is it A or is it S? Yeah. I think I would put them in S tier, actually. Just the fact that you get wheelbarrow in faster is very good. It's like a it's obviously not as good as the Vikings, but it's like in the same realm as Vikings. And then you have so much else going on as well. Like if you're not morally if you don't have any moral qualms about laming, it's so easy to lame with the Civ. And the unique unit is good. And their like half unique unit, the elite no, what's it called? Imperial Skirmisher, that was wild. Yeah, they're S for me, but I don't know what he's going to do. It looks like A here. I guess that makes sense.
another civ that definitely belongs in the A tier. I think right there makes sense. They might be slightly better than Saracens in some cases, but no, I think Saracens overall have more options with the camels, so we'll stick them right there. Vietnamese have amazing, amazing economy these days. They got buffed, so the wheelbarrow and the handcart come in faster. That was a couple patches ago. In general, they have amazing, in terms of like archer play, heavy CA play, amazing range, good late game with the Imperial
Yeah,
Skirmisher.
I would also put them higher.
Your archer range or your range units are just so strong with the Vietnamese. You also get light cav with decent upgrades, halberdier with good upgrades. You also get the bombard cannon with siege engineers. Like this civ misses nothing. It's just it's not in the OP tier because it just doesn't feel like it's overpowered. You're not winning for free with Vietnamese, but it's still like a top tier civ. Okay, next up we're gonna go ahead and do. I've got a lot of good civs left. Holy moly, we're gonna do
Berbers. A tier. So that's a solid A tier on Arabia. No real eco bonus, but the cheap knights are just so good. And then you have camel archers, which are crazy.
Berbers. The new patch really helped the balance. By the way, I love the new patch. Kind of it tamed some of the OP civs, and it kind of boosted some of the weaker civs as well.
Are we
Berbers.
really dancing on
No, they probably belong in the
subpar?
B tier
No,
somewhere.
no.
Maybe even not ahead of Franks. Not ahead of that. Not ahead of that either. Yeah, that's perfect.
Really?
Yeah, Berbers sound pretty good there. They're a good civ, but they suffer some of the problems that Huns suffer from. All of the good Berber units are on a horse, so or a camel. So like camel rider, genitor, hussar, heavy camel, camel archer, cavalier, all of those mounted units. So you die to like a lot of like anti-calf stuff. And that's their only weakness. I think aside from that, like they have a bit of a slow start. But in general, if you get the cast stage with Berbers and you're spamming knights, you're golden. You're in a good spot.
Yeah, but there's one big difference between Berbers and Huns. And that is, well, two big differences. One is that Huns produce their knights faster, which is nice, especially late game, but early game where a lot is being decided often. Getting them cheaper is much nicer. At least in my opinion. You get more out there. Yeah. And then the other thing is you have janitors, which is kind of silly maybe, but like what do you do against just a bunch of pikes? Yeah, or archers too. What do you do with the hunts? Like you have to get into your CA, which is like a if you're already on knights, you don't want to get into CA. It's so expensive. But when you can just throw out a few janitors, you can run circles around the pikes. At least it works for me. I don't know. Maybe it's not a high level civ or a unit. Yeah, yeah. I guess that is the main thing. Like the knights are really nice.
I like the Civ, and I think it's the perfect B tier spot. It's like viable, good, but has some weaknesses and has some bad matchups. Next up, let's go ahead and snip the Italians. They are the
Italians. Anyone want to say anything about the Italians? Just gonna put that out there. I just want to see where he puts them. I'm very curious. Yeah, let's just see. Yeah, it has to be in the middle somewhere. I feel like Italians are one of those, like, it feels nice, but when you start playing the game, it turns out that it's maybe not so nice.
the perfect definition of a B tier Civ. I'm gonna sit them right there, probably behind Bohemians and ahead of Goths. I think the Italians have nothing special. They get a lot of savings throughout the game on their, aging up, ballistics, chemistry, any other university tech, and they have a lot of good options.
Yeah.
Good cav, good archers, decent infantry with the condottiero, good siege, bomber towers. Everything's decent. No crazy bonus. If you want a generic civ, Italians is your home. You can play them however you want. They have good monks. They're just like super flexible, but nothing too crazy. So B tier civ for me. Next up, we've got Lithuanians.
Ooh, Lithuanians. I hope you have something to say about Lithuanians, because that's an interesting one. I have some opinions on the Lithuanians. Yeah, that's what I would say as well. I love the Lithuanians. The only civ I don't want to play against with the Lithuanians is Teutons. Teutons just rip Lithuanians apart. Yeah. I guess A. They, yeah. I guess they're predictable because they need the relics. But now they kind of have this trick play where they can, you think they're going to go for relics, so you go out there with a bunch of light calves and stuff and waste your food on that. But now you can play this boom instead. The boom play where you get extra food for town centers. And suddenly you sit there with a lot more villagers. And then you don't, and maybe you pick up like one relic that is close to your base and you still get a little bit of a bonus. That you can just keep an eye on while you're booming and make sure it's not taken. And then you have much better eco and a little bit better knights. And Hey ho, off we go. I think they're good.
Lithuania is one of those civs where I feel like they're really nice. Probably stick them even ahead of the Franks. No, maybe below the Franks. Yeah, that feels perfect for them. The 100 food per TC gives them a really good mid-game power spike. Picking up relics is nice. Again, Lithuanian is similar to Burgundian, where if you don't get any relics, they feel pretty bad. But if you're able to stack 2-3 relics and then let your plus 100 food per town center carry you, you're going to be in a good spot there. So I like that. Next up, we've got, let's see, Magyars.
Magyars. A or B? Yeah, you don't get quite as much food to start, but on the flip side, you get I think it's 100 food per. Yeah, he just said it, didn't he? I think 100 every time you build a new town center. You put Magyars on D tier on Arabia? Really? Interesting. I know they don't have an eco bonus, but did you think we talked about something else? Or okay, C, low B. Yeah, I think C tier. Like their scout rush is good, right? And then low B, maybe. The cow archers are insane, right? If you get to the cow archers, they can just sit on top of a hill and kill everything. I think it was Barles that did that. In NAC qualifiers, it looked nasty. He was up against. Yeah, it's hard to get there, right? That's the problem. But he got there. And I think he had the unique tech. I don't think he even had heavy. He just had normal, or maybe it did, I'm not sure. But he just sat on top of a hill and forced Imperial camels to run at him. I don't remember who he played against, but he just won the game on that hill. It was crazy. Those uh, not composite, but recurve bow. CA nuts.
Let's stick Magyars. This is a really interesting one, actually. Right ahead of Bengali, right there. Yeah,
C,
behind
okay,
Burmese, which
okay.
feels weird for a lot of you guys, but Magyars.
Yeah, feels strange to me.
They have a really good scout rush, but aside from that, not really much is going well for them until.
Yeah, okay. No problem. I should go to bed soon too, but I'm gonna wrap this up, finish. But thanks for sticking around.
To late game. So they suffer from
We'll
a
have
lot
to
of
play
the
soon.
same problems as Gots, where they have a good early game, but a really weak mid game, and then again a good late game. But the late game isn't that good as well because you're missing bomber cannon, which could be awkward in some cases. So you need to get like to a late game with a lot of economy to afford them. Then
All
they're
right,
amazing.
let's go.
But if you don't get there, they feel weak. I still think I reset that. I still think it's a good civ, but you kind of rely on your opponent making mistakes. Next up, we got the Vikings.
Vikings. I always smile when I get Vikings. I feel they're so strong, but I guess that is a 1200 thing and not a 2700 thing. C is probably right, yes, unfortunately.
Good economy, pretty bad units. Viking is a boring civ for me, but I can't deny it's a good one. I'll stick them right there. I think that's a fair spot for them. Yeah, great
Okay.
economy. I know a lot of Viking lovers out there, so shout out to your civs guys, to your civ. But for me, it's nothing too special. I like their economy bonus, but I don't really like the fact that you don't have halberdiers. You need to get chieftains for your pikes to be strong. You don't have bombard cannon, which is awkward. You have pretty mediocre cav. I feel like you need to win in Castle Age or to get a good position in Castle to win an early imp with Vikings. No thumb.
Yeah, have you taken advantage of that? I feel like that's one of those bonuses where like it's hard to make it count. And kind of a weird one. Oh, it historically it makes a lot of sense, of course, with like the rating and stuff like that. But oh, okay, they can. I don't know. I've had success with them on Arena. I see how like on paper they're not good on Arena, but their eco is so good, and you can take full advantage of it uncontested on Arena, because you obviously get the Castle Age. Most games, unless you get towered or some shit like that. But I even smile when I get Vikings on Arena, even if I lack a lot of units. Just slap castles everywhere and make berserks, make life miserable for the other guy. It works more often than not.
Army can sometimes be awkward as well. Again, it makes you get another unique tech. Hindustani, they just
gotta read your message. Yeah, I love berserks. They're good.
got a nice little buff actually. They got a little bit cheaper bills than before, so they're like okay. Not as good as they once were, but I think they're still solid. I'll probably put them right behind Vikings. Yeah, I think they have something better than Byzantine in a lot of cases. Yeah, I like the Hindustani. They have an amazing late game. 9-range hand cannoneer are super strong, by the way. They're very much slept on. Gulam is also
LOL.
decent in
I
some
don't think that's
cases.
gonna happen.
Yeah, decent civ.
Yeah, actually, I'm awful on Arena. Yeah, it's sad how often that goes right in the bucket. Arena is like, I don't really like it because it's one of those. What's the taunt again? Like, you play 2 hours just to die like that. That's like the ultimate, or the map that belongs with that taunt. You play on the build up, and then you find that your strat was wrong compared to what the other guy's doing, and you just die. And there's no way to scout what he's doing. So, good luck.
There, not having knights can be problematic sometimes, though. Turks, oof. Yeah, they're not the greatest civ ever. Not the worst though. I'll stick them right there. That's a perfect spot for them. I'm really happy with that. Turks with the light cav +1 pierce armor makes them really good against a lot of archer civs. So Turks with like +1 light cav is very strong. I think it gives them a lot of good matchups against archer civs. And in general, they
Turks
also
are
have like some
decent.
fast nip options that are pretty good. Gunpowder is like one of their main kit, or one of their main strengths in late game. No halberdier, no elite skirm, no pikeman even can be awkward sometimes. Great heavy CA though. They have good units, but just feel like sometimes you don't get to use them. I think it's a big problem. They're light cav with extra pierce armor and free hussar and light cav option, or free light cav and hussar upgrade is their best options. Tix is a good matchup against archer civs with the +1 pierce armor for light cav. Yeah, I think I really enjoy having them there. Not much else to say. I mean, they have like good options with like gunpowder and heavy CA, but I feel like sometimes you just don't get there. And no elite skirm leads to a lot of awkward matchups, and yeah, no pikeman can sometimes hurt. So yeah, sometimes you just die to like crossbow pike and castle age, and if you don't have siege, you can't really deal with that too effectively. Your light cav don't cut it. All right, next up we've got the Sicilians. Okay, this is the worst civ in the game right now, sadly. I know that was rude. Sicilians are the worst civ in the game. I'm pretty certain about that, because the thing is, like, if you think about all the other civs, right? They all have power spikes. They all have good economy. They all have good late game options. Sicilians don't have power spikes. Not really. their economy bonus is like a long-term
Yeah,
scaling
true.
thing, but then the late game isn't that good, so it doesn't really match their economy bonus. Sicilians are only good if your opponent has mercy on you and doesn't kill you at any stage of the game. Like they just let you do your thing. Their Cavalier with Holbrook is not that good. It just dies to Halb, Camel, and Monk. So hey, what I'm using against Cavalier usually will work on Holbrook Cavalier anyways. The 33% damage reduction isn't going to save the Cavalier from Halb. I don't know. I just feel like Sicilians are lukewarm. And guys, the U putting strategy that got its 5 minutes of fame, it's not that good. Let's be completely honest here. It could cheese you, can catch you off guard, but you're not dying to that consistently at top level. So I feel like U putting is the only good strat. Otherwise, nothing too special. Sergeant is a good unit, has a lot of good plays, but I just feel like Sicilians are a pretty bad civ right now. You can still make them work. They're not terrible, but they are probably objectively the worst civ in the game on Arabia. Let's do Incas. So Incas.
It's getting late, so I'm kind of just letting him do his thing now.
Yeah, that feels perfect. Right there. Yeah. They're a
Gonna have
civ
to
that
talk about
is
that
better
one.
than mine. So they're like the best mezzo civ right now. And I think they got a small nerf, but it doesn't matter too much. They still have really good savings on food units. And I really like how many options they have. It feels like there's no bad matchup for Incas, which I really love. Sometimes other civs can give them a hard time because they're just so strong, but Incas can hold their own more than
Yeah,
fine.
they're very good.
Okay, next up we've got, let's do the Slavs. That's going to be another 8-tier civ. I'm going to stick them right ahead of Aztecs as well.
Oh,
kind
I
of
like
dogging
that.
Aztecs a bit.
I'm kind of a
I
slab
like the
lover.
Slavs though. I think they're a super solid civ. The extra 5% farming rate is amazing.
My
I think that gives them a
computer's
huge boost.
going
Slavs
nuts.
went from like D tier or C tier to A tier, by the way. That 5% farming really helped, really helped. But it's not only that. I think the meta of like Spear Skirm also helps Slavs a lot. Spear Skirm with Slavs is really good. It helps you get your farms down.
Interesting. Yeah. More mesosivs. That could be interesting. There's enough historically to take from. I think there's a bunch of tribes, so I don't know exactly. I'm no expert, but I'm sure there's a bunch they could pick from. Yeah. I think when did the Olmecs? When were they around? I feel like that's an older one. Like maybe that would be more like an AoE 1 civ. But maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's a BCE civ. So it's more like AoE 1. But yeah, AoE 3 has a bunch of North American ones. Huh, use rubber, that's interesting. Yeah, but Persians like existed though, like at the time. Just under different names. Like the dynasties were different, but they were all Persians. Like the Olmecs were more getting. Yeah, for sure. Like the Persian Empire existed in the AoE 1 era. Absolutely. But they also existed in the AoE 2 era. And people around the world referred to them as Persians. It was the Olmecs. I don't think anyone called each other Olmec. Or probably no one called them Olmecs because it's probably something made up by a Western historian. But anyway, I don't know. Yeah, probably. I mean, that's what the Vikings have, or whatever they call it in Age mythology. Works there. Some guys carrying a log. That's what they call a ram for the Norse in AOM. I'm hyped for Retold, by the way. Mythology Retold. Age Mythology is such a good game.
Buys you some time. Slavs still have an awkward late game, and they still suffer to some of the top civs. But overall, I think the Slavs are an amazing civ right now. Next up, sometimes awkward late game, but other than that, super solid. Next up, let's do the Malay. That's going to be another 8.
Yeah, they definitely could have done a little more with the. I think if the Meso civs or the American civs had been introduced in a DLC now with the new dev team, they would have been much more customized to be historically correct. And a lot of units would have been reskinned and things like that. They're doing a really good job on that now, I feel like taking Paladin away from Persians, for instance, giving them a custom unit there made a lot of sense. So yeah, they would not have let the Mesos be as similar to the other civs.
8-tier civ, and that's going to be just ahead of the Slavs, eh? Malay are fantastic right now. They're broken on water maps, but even on Arabia, they're pretty good. I think getting the free arm upgrade and the aging up faster, those two things work together perfectly to let you get up to next age faster and put the pressure right away on your opponent. So for example, you can get like men at arms in feudal age with extra armor. That's so strong, like free armor right away. Or 2 militia, extra armor. Spear skirm, extra armor on spears. That's feudal age. Go to castle age, you can do all kinds of crazy longsword rushes. You can get the pikes with +2 armor right away. You can get to imp with karambits and have +4 armor, +4 pierce armor on karambits, running in, sniping siege, sniping whatever, raiding. It's so annoying. So I think Malay getting to the next age, putting pressure fast on your opponent, and beating them out is amazing. The late game is a little bit weak sometimes, a little bit awkward sometimes, but you still get the free 200 swordsman or no gold costing 200 swordsman, which is good. But yeah, overall Malay 8-tier, not broken but strong.
I guess
let's
that's
do
reasonable.
the Teutons. They're not.
I love Teutons. I know he's gonna put them low, but I think they're so good.
They might be a D tier civ actually.
Really? D tier? Yeah, I think they're higher than D tier. Like they have crazy farm eco, or you can slap farms down so easily. I know they don't have no expo. Their expo is just not that good. There are no arbalists, but with arbalists they would have been crazy good. And I have no bracer, of course. I guess that's their claim to infamy, but the conversion bonus, maybe that's a little like indirectly nerfed now with devotion, but still, I think they're much better than D. Yeah, get them out
I
of
think
D.
I'm gonna put them here. I think Teutons have a much better chance than Celts at ending the game early. I think the siege pushing with monks can be very strong with Teutons since your opponent cannot go monks to defend. They have a decent economy as well with chief.
Yeah. Spanish don't have expo, that's right. And Bulgarians, right. Teutons though do have them.
Farms, and they have good units in terms of melee unit and siege.
What? No, Gujarat have expo. I played with them the other day. They definitely have expo. But they don't have pikes like the Turks.
But they die to like sometimes like lacking archer civs or lacking archer units can be problematic. And the late game isn't great because you have only scout cav. So if you run out of gold, you're kind of screwed. But overall, they're pretty bad, but definitely like playable. Next up, let's take the.
Yeah. Then we agree. I guess it's kind of right that Teutons are one of those civs that don't do well without gold, but that's honestly a lot of civs. Like Mezzo is like that. Franks is like that. Huns is like that. I don't know. I can list a bunch.
Tatars and stick them into A tier, probably right behind Aztecs though. I think Tatars definitely belong there. They have some really good matchups, and they have really strong plays and a great late game. But they just again don't feel as strong or OP as the higher ups. So I really like the Keshik and I really like the CA with Tatars. Those are the two best options. Next up, let's take the Spanish. Spanish are okay.
Spanish. I feel like that's one of those civs where the distance between mid-tier and high level is the biggest. I don't even think it's Chinese. People talk about Chinese all the time. It's Spanish. Because at our level, people will get to conks. And then you just run circles around everything. But these crazy monk playing high levels, I guess they just laugh when they see conks. Unless it's Nomad. Yeah, but they do it so well though. Conks are so OP. Yeah. Not if they shoot them up. But yeah, I see what you're
I'll
saying.
put them ahead of Turks. I think Spanish are solid. Conquistadors got nerfed, so not the best strat, ever. But the 20 gold per tech is like okay. Overall, actually, the missionaries are really good for Spanish. Those are probably the best
That's
units for
funny.
Spanish. Overall, I think it's like a pretty good civ, but nothing, nothing too crazy. As far as like what it wants to do, but then like the reason it gets dragged down is like it has no crossbow, it has no crazy
Yeah,
eco bonus.
that's the thing.
So if you have a slow-paced game, Spanish feel good. If it's a fast-paced game, Spanish just sometimes completely die out. Conks not as good as they were before. Next up, we've got the Malians. Malians belong in the top of B tier. No, they're not the A tier civ that they once were, in my opinion. So I'm gonna stick them in B tier. They're really good.
Yeah, probably.
But they have some awkward, places in their tech tree. No bracer can sometimes be awkward. No help can sometimes be awkward. But other than that, they have really good economy and really good other options than that. No siege engineer can also be sometimes awkward. So good, but not too strong. And last but not
Yeah. It's the lack of brace. It's so awkward. And I feel like you want to go, like in an ideal world, you would want to go Expo with that gold bonus, but then you end up in Imp without upgrades. So well, you do have Arbalest, but like no bracer sucks. So
least, we've got the Koreans. They're going to be put in the B tier somewhere. Not there, though. I'm going to actually stick them.
yeah. Spanish have bracer. Spanish is actually the only Europe. No, never mind. Spanish is a Mediterranean civ, which means they have full blacksmith. Portuguese have full blacksmith, I think. Spanish have full blacksmith. And Italians have full blacksmith. Turks have full blacksmith. Saracens have full blacksmith. All the civs that sit around the Mediterranean, not all of them, but a lot of them, have full blacksmiths. Yeah. I know they're European, but just it didn't make sense to start the sentence with European. That wasn't really what I was about to, or that didn't make any sense. The point was that they're Mediterranean. Yeah, Sicilians do not get full blacksmith. I think they miss something for archers. It has to be armor. I think they miss armor. Huh. That's something I should know. That's ring archer armor, right? Yeah, unavailable to Sicilians.
A little bit further back. Yeah, right there feels perfect. Yeah, right there for Korean seems
I
really
agree.
good. They
Keep
have
the
really good
DLCs
skirm
coming.
spear early game. The towers are really nice in mid game. I really like the Koreans for aggressive play, map control oriented style. Their late game is like passable. Sometimes lacking good cav can hurt, but otherwise, like you have a solid late game. Siege engineers then as well.
Koreans are good.
Wagons are strong. I like the Koreans. I think they're pretty good. But yeah, nothing too special there. All right, and that's going to do it for my updated Arabia tier list. Once again, guys, if you do want to check out the virtual touchscreen and mess around with it on your own time, it's really fun. I really had a good time using it today. Again, check the pinned comment to get in touch with the guy who made it. His name is Yaman, and
The more civs, the more balanced. You know what I'm guessing? There's always one civ that counts. Yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, it was good. It was good. Hope yours was good as well. Glad you liked it. I have to go to bed as well. But yeah, it was fun. Thanks for sticking around. And maybe we'll do this. Maybe this will be a tradition. Every time it is a civ tier list, we'll go through it together. That'll be fun. Have a good night, guys. AoE tomorrow or Stronghold or whatever we feel like, I guess. You're working on getting Stronghold, okay. Good, good. Yep. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks to Hera for providing us our content today. And we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good one.